Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to a match reaction of Liverpool 1, Brentford 3, what should have been about 5, 6, 7, we've just got fingered by a bunch of wasps at their ground for a team that's probably got a combined valuation of about 40 million, if that, and that's probably, most of that valuation will come based off of the work that Brentford have done over the past couple of seasons. No Ivan Toney, no Hickey, no Aja, or whatever the centre-back's name is, and yet they still come out there and show that they're the dominant team. And it's not based on value. This is how valuations and names are bullshit, you know. Raya, their goalkeeper, Raya, he was unbelievable, constantly off his line when he needs to be. Great shot stopper. I actually said that he's got a lot better, or a lot more of a well-rounded game than David De Gea. I think David De Gea has got the shot stopping, but not necessarily everything else. I think Raya done brilliant with that, but the point and premise is they wanted it more. Somebody said to me in the chat today, saying, James, what's up with the intensity? Oh, bless these players, of course, they're not going to run as much because look what they've been doing the past 5 years. Well, how come they matched that intensity at the start of the second half, but had none of that intensity in the first? How come we're still persistent with these long balls when all we're doing is giving an opportunity to the opposition to gain possession, counter-attack us, play in the crosses, win those corners, and then not show the agency to be the first man to those headers? It's all about intensity. There's a reason why for years on end, City and Liverpool could win game after game after game after game. You knew they were going to outrun you. You knew they were going to pass the ball better than you. You knew their wingers and midfielders and defenders were better than your wingers, midfielders and defenders. The only difference is that you literally couldn't stop it because it was too intense and they just worked harder than you did. It weren't just quality. When you times hard work with quality, you get points in the Premier League. 3 points more specifically that we didn't get today. So that's why I've got an issue, because people say intensity, people like to give excuses saying, but these players have been running for years. Well, how come they can show it for brief periods of the game, but then not for the rest? Because they're not sitting there breathing heavy. It's all up here. There's a reason why Kanate gets beat on some of those corners, because he's not urgent enough to win the header. There's a reason why Trent got beaten on some of those corners. Not urgent enough to be in the right position. Not urgent enough to want to win. Not urgent enough to put the ball in the back of the net by some of these attackers. And the lack of urgency then leads to a lack of intensity, which leads to Brentford outrunning us, creating more chances than us, and then in result, scoring more goals. So this is a huge problem going forward, because Mr. Negativity over here, who's been saying, I've got a problem with Darwin Núñez, who finally put the ball in the back of the net, but it was the one time where he was offside, and for some reason, I am told that I am negative when I am calling things out like this. I am told I am negative when I say, or I open the possibility of Salah being a finished footballer when he's been doing this for 15 months. And I don't mean you should sell Salah, I don't mean I hate Salah, but he just might not be as good as right now. And unless we're going to settle for mediocre standards and mediocrity as a whole when it comes to success, why are we going to settle for these performances? Why are we going to say 1 minute, I don't want Timo Werner, and then be happy with Darwin Núñez? But Núñez is younger. It's like, no, but Werner has already won a Champions League. He scored the same amount of goals in the Bundesliga as Núñez did in the Portuguese league. Why are we going to persist with Salah just because his name's Salah? Why can't Diaz, Gakpo, and let's say Núñez or Firmino play in the front three? Why can't that be the front three opposed to Salah or Van Dijk just because they're big names? They're playing shit. They're playing disgraceful, as a matter of fact. And it's now a case where I've got to come out here on these platforms seem dead negative. Go and watch my stream. You will see the high emotions I was going through consistently throughout it. It just pisses me off to see the lack of urgency from players who have set these own high expectations for themselves. Now, listen, if you want to try and make me subscribe to becoming a fan who's satisfied with top 4 or satisfied with top 6, then Núñez is fine. All these other players, how they're playing is fine, but they're not good enough to win us league titles in the short term nor the long term, and that's why we've got to assess who we start playing in the squad week in, week out, and how we analyse the performances going forward. But no, from start, the first half was abysmal when it came to the intensity. The decision making was off, constant long balls, no innovation whatsoever. A real big shame to see a team that was so innovative years ago. If crossing weren't working, well, we'll just play it through you. If it playing through you doesn't work, we'll take a long shot with Felipe Coutinho. We always had different weapons in the arsenal, whereas now we've relied so heavily on the system to where we don't even have moments of individual brilliance. You don't see Salah putting in a worldie goal. You don't see Nunes taking away his chances. And by the way, I'm sorry, but that lack of technical ability just can't be improved. When Nunes is taking a shot and it's a cross, and he's actually done that before, hopefully now people start to understand what I'm saying about Nunes, but people will be like, oh, he's so good. He's doing everything but score goals, yet the sole premise to go and get an £85 million striker is for them to score goals. If I wanted a striker to do everything but score goals, I would have called up Bobby Firmino, because that's exactly the type of player that Bobby Firmino is as well. But I don't want to be too negative, because Oxlade-Chamberlain was sound today. Papa Oxlade doing the business. Alisson done his thing. But in the main, you have to share the blame between Virg, between Salah, between Nunes, between all of these players that done nothing good. And people are saying to me like, oh, James Harvey Elliott was shit. You're damn right he was shit. But Thiago was just as shit. And this was a man who played for Barcelona and Bayern Munich. This is a man who played with Iniestas and Xavis. And I'm not even seeing him lift his head up for the pass. This is a player who has achieved the most in the game, and yet he's still not putting his head up for the pass. Fabinho, I mean, I know he's just had a baby. Shout out to him and his wife, but he's playing like he was the one who gave birth to the baby, and he's been playing like that all season, and that's where the problem lies with me, is when Fabinho gets given these guarantees because his name is Fabinho, and Virgil van Dijk the same, and Salah the same, that's where you've then got to look at Jurgen Klopp and say, wow, you keep giving these players a chance based off no premise. You give them a chance based off CV opposed to what have you done for me recently. And football is a very what have you done for me recently sport. And when Salah's 30 plus and he's been shit for over a year, or nowhere near the standards of what Salah usually sets for over a year, it does lead me to question, are you the man to take us forward? Or when Nunes, for the fourth game in a row, misses at least 2 or 3 chances that most strikers in the Premier League would score, then just results into our fans saying, oh yeah, but it's sound, the goals will come. It's like, I'm sick of it. And it's a big shame because, this is a detriment to a football club that I love. It's a detriment to the success that my football club could achieve. And my club has been built off being the most successful club in England. We've won the most trophies for a reason. Bill Shankly and Bob Paisley set those foundations for a reason. And it weren't to be diminished by a bunch of fucking stupid fans who are 5 years of age saying, oh, Nunes. And I love Nunes. But to suggest, oh, he's not scoring now, but he will score in a couple of weeks, and just give him time, and it's okay that he's missing chances because he's doing everything else but score. That's when you lower the standards. When you say, oh, Virgil van Dijk, but it's Virgil van Dijk, he's been doing this for years and years and years and years. And I'm not saying sell Virgil van Dijk, but he can't be starting games. Salah, same. Fabinho, same. If Alisson was playing shit, I'd say the same about Alisson, but he's not. Hence why I'm not saying that, and hence why I will praise Alisson on a week-to-week basis. I'm just fuming. I'm fuming with the lack of urgency and intensity from this team. And people will call me negative when I come out and call it out. If I came on this YouTube channel... Yeah, so for instance, when I weren't posting on this YouTube channel, I had best friends of mine saying, James, not good enough. I had subscribers on this channel saying, James, how come you always come back and then you leave again? And it's because you guys hold me to a certain standard to where if I say I'm going to upload, you would like to hope I would upload. It's like when these players say that they're going to turn up and they want to compete for Premier Leagues, but then they show something completely different. And granted, what they do is 20 times million much harder than what I do, no doubt. I am only telling them what I would want my manager to tell me or my friend to tell me. Not all this negativity, but honesty. When I say Nunes hasn't got a first touch, how do we accommodate that? That's me being honest. When I see Salah playing shit week in, week out, unfortunately, as much as I love all the great performances you've been putting in, I've got next week to worry about and the week after, and if you're not going to turn up for those games, you are a liability. Virgil van Dijk, if you are going to lack focus the same way you have been lacking focus, you are a liability. But it's very ironic that the players with something to prove, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Shimmercast, these type of players were the best ones on the pitch. Even like when you think about Harvey Elliott, he does lack that presence in the midfield. But that's because he hasn't got the Fabinho next to him or the Henderson next to him, who are supposed to be that presence for him. And then he can take things out of their game, implement it into his, and become the player that we hope Harvey Elliott can become. But under these circumstances, there's no physical examples, there's no verbal examples, and quite frankly, this team is embarrassing. And I was actually devastated when Brentford had, 2 disallowed goals in the first half, because they deserved a slapping today, these players. They deserved a 4-1, 5-1, and believe me, I don't want to see it, but I believe it's going to get the best reaction and the best response out of these players in as short term as possible. So let me know what you think, guys. I really am finished. I'm just... Times like this where I wish I didn't do content, because this is this is not what I want to be portraying. My first 2-3 years on YouTube was happy James, and you didn't get to see the honest side as much. And I was always honest, but I was happily honest. Whereas now I can't believe the amount of delusion that's in our fan base, and it's truly being exposed through tough times. But I'll still back the players, I'll still back the manager, and I kind of hope that they're holding themselves to a standard to where they're not going to be happy about this performance. I'm not sitting there saying go home and cry or dwell on it forever, but yeah, make sure that you feel it, because we feel it as fans, and if we're feeling it, we'd like to hope that the players who are out there who created that result also feel it as well. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching James Redmond TV. Please leave a like, because it helps the video get more out there. Let me know if you think that we're going to get back and try and maybe win some games, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, much love. Peace out.